Hey, McDowell here. Today we are taking a look at the coolest 4-inch Fortnite set from Jazwares, the Polar Legends Trio Mode. I found this at Target for $29.99, and again, these look awesome. Alright, let's take a look at the back side of the box. Nice looking group shot we have here. On the left, there is Codename E.L.F, the mint version, elusive, lethal, and festive. In the middle, we have Lieutenant Evergreen, just a tree here, move along. And on the right side, we have Frozen Red Knight, Frozen Menace of Icy Tundra. Down near the bottom is the cross-sell, and about half of these figures we haven't seen yet. And for those who want to see it, here is the barcode. Alright, let's get these figures out of the box. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe so you'll be notified of future videos. If you want to help the channel out and you play Fortnite, please feel free to add my creator code to your Epic account. It's McDowell. Codename E.L.F is a rare skin and part of the Polar Legends set. Released in Chapter 1 Season 1, the bundle can be purchased for about $20 around the holiday season. Frozen Red Knight is a Frozen skin, part of the Frozen Legends set. Released in Chapter 1 Season 7, the bundle can be purchased for $19.99 when available. And finally, Lieutenant Evergreen is an epic skin, part of the Piney Fresh set. Released in Chapter 2 Season 1, the skin was free during Winterfest event of 2019. We'll begin looking at the accessories with the Frozen Axe harvesting tool. I like this one a lot. I really like the gradient, the shades from darker to light. It does give me a sense of being cold and frozen here near the tip. Yeah, I like this one. I think this is one of their better harvesting tools that they've come up with. Next, we have the Peppermint axe, and this is a repaint of the Candy axe, but I like this one. I'm glad they went with this one since we have the mint version, the mint version of Codename E.L.F. And so it's got the little light bulbs up here, and it's got the icicle attached to the cane shape up here. I think it's a very cool looking one and a good update to this harvesting tool. Then we have the Peppermint axe, and it makes me think of the You Shouldn't Have axe. It's all wrapped up in a gift. We've got the bow, and it may be a I didn't take a look, but this might be a repaint of that one. I almost don't think so because of the hook down here, the little J shape. It may not be. Actually, I'm going to retract that. I'm pretty sure it's not with that. But I think it looks cool. It's got a candy cane wrap of sorts up here. It's got this really cool green bow, and I like the look of it a lot. So the Peppermint axe is pretty cool. We get an assault rifle in the candy cane wrap. I like this wrap, but yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. We also get a charge shotgun in the candy cane wrap, and again, I think this looks pretty nice. I like this wrap a lot, so just about anything looks good in it. And we get a submachine gun with the candy cane wrap. That's one of the things what happens with these holiday sets is all the weapons are in the candy cane wrap. And we get this really cool looking spray on 4 metal building material pieces. It is the Grumpy Tree spray, and I like this one. I think this is pretty cool that we're still getting sprays. I can't wait to get more sprays in the future, and I hope we eventually get like all of them. Maybe? And standard with any set that comes with building material, we get a Fortnite Building Tips and Tricks guide. These figures stand about 4 inches tall, well, except for this guy. He's a little bit of a llama over the others, and have 28 points of articulation. We'll take a look at Frozen Red Knight first, her articulation, and I really do like this figure. I like the Red Knight in general, but when you add some blues and silvers, then that's really cool in my book because those are colors that I like blended together pretty well. I'm a big blue fan. But yeah, I think this figure looks really, really nice. This is a cool figure. I may be tempted at some point to see if I can pop off the head safely and maybe add some other female Fortnite head on there and see how that looks. And kind of was interested in doing that as I pulled this figure out just to see how what the figure might look like. One day in the future, I might do some very, what would you call it, lazy customs where you just kind of pop off different pieces and blend them together or hook them together and see what you get. So anyway, let's look at the articulation. The head rotates all the way around. It's kind of on a bobble head. It's kind of an open area down here, so you can kind of bobble it around a little bit. When that's the case, you can get it to look up and down without actually moving the hinge, which seems to work out fine. If you want to move the hinge, mine's a little tough, but you can get her to look up, and you can get her to look down. Now, if you bobblehead it up, you could probably get a little bit more range of motion out of this head. The arms rotate at the shoulder lifts up about that far. Actually really pretty good. A figure like this doesn't have a lot of hindrance. The elbows rotate and hinge. Pretty good, I think. I think good enough. The wrists rotate and hinge. Like that. Little zombie look. Not zombie look. Maybe both zombie looks. I don't know. The torso wiggles around very nicely. Back and forth. Forward and back. Something like that. You can rotate the waist, but you got to grab this whole torso area to rotate the waist around. Just like that. If you want her to do the splits, well, she can go up about that far. There is some hindrance, I suppose, in the waist section, but that's not usually probably something you need to do a lot. Thighs rotate, double pin at the knee, and finally, a hinge and rotation at the ankle. Now, on her left leg, you can't really go up much further than that because of the shin guard here, the armor piece. But the foot will go back. Now the right side will go forward just a tad, just a little bit, and rotate back, and hinge back. But this is a great figure. I really do like this figure. I think this one, I was really excited when we got the other Red Knight figure, and so I'm really happy that we've gotten another one. If I remember right, isn't there a third one? There might be a third Red Knight, and maybe we'll get her at some point. That would be kind of cool. Next, we're going to take a look at Codename E.L.F. And the first thing that jumped out at me about this figure is the face sculpt. I think this face is really good, and I don't know why this one jumps out. Let's see if I can bring him just a little bit closer to the camera so you can see. I think this is a really great looking face sculpt. And it would make me very anxious and very interested to get one or both of the other styles of this figure. I just think it looks really good. This is a very cool, very, very nice one. I'm going to say very lot because I think it's nice. It's fantabulous. All right, so let's take a look at this figure's articulation. So just like all the others, his head rotates back and forth. And all the way around. He looks down just a little bit. He's got this scarf here around his neck, but he can look up much better. He can rotate his arms at the shoulder and lift his shoulders up all the way. So he can do about that range right there. Pretty good range up here. His elbows hinge and they rotate. His wrists also rotate and hinge. I did that backwards, didn't I? He's got a okay torso wiggle. He can go forward and go back. Actually really pretty good. Side to side, not bad. You got to grab everything around the torso if you want to wiggle his waist and rotate it around. He does have this little elf skirt. It's not really a skirt. It's like the lower portion of his tunic. And so if you want him to do the splits, he can only go about that far. Probably if this lower portion of the tunic wasn't there, you could take his legs up higher. If you want, you can pop this figure apart and pull this lower section off, but it kind of takes away from the look of the figure. Thighs rotate, as usual, double pin at the knee, and then he's got a pretty standard early days Jazwares Fortnite of hinge and rotation here, because these are repaints from some earlier figures, these lower legs, and maybe the upper legs too, maybe from the thighs down. I'd have to look at them a little bit closer, but part of this figure is repainted. And it's a very cool figure. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get the original figure, but the minty version really is not that bad. It looks cool, and I'm guessing they included it maybe so they could include the minty pickaxe or the merriment axe. I don't know. But it's a very cool figure. I really like this one a lot. So far, we've got winners in this set all the way around. And finally, Lieutenant Evergreen. This was a figure that just kind of came out of nowhere. Well, I shouldn't say nowhere. I wasn't expecting this figure. This is a cool figure. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is a very cool figure. I'm not a huge fan of the skin in-game, I don't know, it looks weird, but I really, really like this figure. There's a lot of soft rubber on him. All the green stuff that creates his tree-like costume is all soft rubber. You can see me pulling that up there. The llama on his head is extremely soft rubber. I'll bring him down just a little bit there. So you want to be careful with these pieces. If you pull on them or snag them, they could rip and completely take off a portion of this costume. But I really like this figure. I'm going to bump my camera up there just a little bit and see if I can't, I think there we go. All right, I wanted to get him in there a little bit better for you. But I really do like this figure. You can kind of pull up the front and see his face there just a little bit, but I wouldn't do too much with that. How does his articulation go, though? With all of this, it's actually not bad. His head will rotate all the way around. He can look down a little bit. He can look up. I think he looks up and down on the hinge much better than I'm able to show you. I think mine may be stiff because I'm not seeing anything that would stop his head from looking up and down. His arms will rotate that far because, yep, he's got this hindrance right here across his shoulders. So also, if you want to raise his arms, well, mine are a little stuck here. Let's try this. There we go. You can get his arms up about that high. Let's see. Yeah, mine's stuck. I don't know how this one's going to work in hot water because there's so much rubber, soft rubber on him. So, but he can move his arms back and forth and raise them up at the shoulders. His elbows rotate and hinge very well, considering his lower portion here. The wrists rotate and hinge. I think actually his entire elbow just did, but yeah, the wrists rotate and hinge just fine. He's got a nice torso if you want him to lean. That was a big lean. He can lean forward about that far. Lean back about that far. You can rotate his waist by grabbing the whole area. I would give you a word of caution if you do that. When you're grabbing the rubber and the waist, you might snag, you might grab something and pull. So just be really careful as you're rotating the waist that you don't accidentally pull the rubber. And I'm noticing that this little portion over here on the left side keeps getting stuck as I rotate it around. I don't remember if it was like that in the package, but I'm trying to keep that out so it doesn't get damaged. If you want him to do the splits, surprisingly, he does really pretty good. I'm not sure what's up with the right side over here, why it's not going up all the way, but the left side goes up just fine. His thigh rotates just fine. He's got double pin at the knee and an ankle rotation and hinge, which works just fine. It does work just fine. This figure is pretty articulate, at least from about the torso down. Much better than I thought it would be. And I do really, this is a character. Well, it is a character, but this is just an interesting character. Let's see about bringing him forward here just a little bit and showing you a few details, because he's got some interesting details on him. So just readjusting some things. So like right here, you can see his little llama ornament hanging there. We'll rotate him around. Got some red balls there, another llama back here, a gold ball there. And yeah, he's just got some little ornaments hanging around. See how close we can get. There's the llama at the top of the tree. And can we pick his... Yeah, you can kind of see it. It won't really focus in. This is based in-game. This is based off the Jonesy. So this should look like a Jonesy figure, I would say. But yeah, this figure is really cool. I really like this figure. And I'm pretty happy to have gotten it. I'm glad that they released this one, even if this was not one of my top first choices. I've got other holiday figures, themed, winter themed, whatever, figures I'd much rather see, but this guy is a catch. This guy is cool. This really is a great figure. Overall, I always enjoy these holiday sets. It's fun to get the holiday themed characters, and I'm a huge fan of these candy cane wraps around the weapons. As much as I really like the candy cane wraps, though, it might be time for them to be done. We've gotten them 3 years in a row, and I think we've gotten one or two here or there. But, you know, there's a lot of other holiday-themed wraps, so I think it's probably time that they retire this one and maybe do something different for next year. With the release of the Frozen Red Knight here, Jazwares has now completed the entire Frozen Legends set. We have Frozen Love Ranger, Frozen Raven, and now the Frozen Red Knight. That's really cool to have a complete figure set. We've gone long enough now. Jazwares has released enough of these figures. We're starting to complete some things, which is really exciting. You know, back in 2018, 2019, when this was a new line, nobody knew how far that this would go. And to start completing some things is just a very neat thing to have happen. So yeah, anyway, I think overall that this is just a really solid set. You've got 3 great characters. You've got 3 good-looking characters, very characters, and their characteristics, you know, with their, I don't really know how to describe it. I mean, they're very interesting. They're very neat. And you get a pile of goodies with, you know, some really kind of unique harvesting tools as well, with the weapons, figures. It's a solid set, and if you're able to get it, I highly recommend this set. This just has a pile of neat figures in it. So anyway, now it's your turn. What do you think about this set? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you haven't already, or you haven't yet, check out my video of my favorite holiday themed set, the gingerbread set, in the lower left corner. Thank you for stopping by and watching. If you enjoyed, please like this video and share it everywhere. It really does help the channel. I will see you in the next video.